Have you ever wondered how Bitcoin, the first decentralized cryptocurrency, has evolved since its inception? Let's take a virtual journey back to 2009, the birth year of Bitcoin. Born in the cradle of revolutionary ideas, Bitcoin embarked on a roller coaster journey, shaped and molded by the technological landscape it thrived in. A significant landmark in this journey is the event known as halving. Imagine it as a heartbeat of the Bitcoin ecosystem, occurring approximately every 4 years. This heartbeat doesn't just keep Bitcoin alive, it significantly impacts the production rate of new Bitcoins, creating a ripple of scarcity that often triggers noteworthy price movements. It's an intriguing periodic reshuffling of the economic deck unique to the Bitcoin ecosystem. But what exactly is halving? Picture Bitcoin's total supply as a finite treasure. Now halving is the mechanism that gradually reduces the reward miners receive for validating transactions, thereby making the production of new Bitcoins scarcer over time. The idea behind this mechanism is to mirror the scarcity of precious metals like gold and ensure a controlled inflation rate. Now let's step into the time machine and travel back through these halving events. Notice how they've influenced the ebb and flow of Bitcoin's value. It's a captivating interplay between technology and economics, creating a narrative that appeals to both seasoned investors and newcomers alike. This dance, this interplay is what makes the evolution of Bitcoin and the concept of halving so fascinating. It's a tale that goes beyond mere numbers and dives into the heart of what makes Bitcoin such a unique phenomenon in the financial world. This is just the beginning of our exploration into the world of Bitcoin. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into this fascinating universe. So, how exactly does this Bitcoin halving influence its value? Well, it all boils down to the fundamental economic principle of supply and demand. When the supply of a commodity decreases while demand remains the same or increases, the price naturally goes up. This is exactly what happens during a Bitcoin halving event. The rate at which new Bitcoins are generated is cut in half, creating a kind of digital scarcity. We can look at Bitcoin's past to see the effects of this in action. Following the first halving event in November 2012, the value of Bitcoin experienced a significant uptick, going from around $13 to over $100 in a matter of months. And this wasn't a one-time phenomenon. The subsequent halving events in 2016 and 2020 also saw considerable surges in Bitcoin's value, solidifying the correlation between halving and price movement. However, it's important to note that while halving events do create scarcity, they are not the sole drivers of Bitcoin's value. Other factors like market sentiment, macroeconomic trends, and regulatory developments also play vital roles. But one thing's for sure, halving events are pivotal moments in Bitcoin's timeline that often herald dramatic shifts in its value. The Bitcoin halving mechanism also serves a vital role in securing the longevity of the Bitcoin network. By reducing the reward for mining, Bitcoin ensures that its total supply of 21 million coins won't be reached until around the year 2140. This gradual release of new Bitcoins into the market not only influences its value, but also ensures the sustainability of the Bitcoin ecosystem for decades to come. So there you have it. Halving events create scarcity, trigger price movements, and secure Bitcoin's longevity. They're part of the unique magic that keeps the world of Bitcoin fascinating and unpredictable. As we've seen, Bitcoin halving is a fascinating interplay between technology and economics, but the journey doesn't end here. Now that we understand Bitcoin's evolution and the concept of halving, how does one acquire this digital treasure? A question that resonates with many. First things first, acquiring Bitcoin isn't akin to buying a commodity from a store. Instead, it involves understanding the avenues available for purchase and choosing one that aligns with your preferences and security concerns. Two primary routes are cryptocurrency exchanges, often referred to as CEX, and decentralized exchanges, known as DEX. Let's delve into these a bit. A cryptocurrency exchange is a centralized platform that facilitates the trading of digital currencies for other assets, such as conventional fiat money or other digital currencies. They operate in a similar fashion to traditional stock exchanges, but instead of trading stocks, you're trading digital assets. These platforms often require you to create an account, complete a verification process, and then you're set. You can deposit fiat money, buy, sell, and trade digital currencies, including Bitcoin. Some popular CEX include Coinbase, Binance, and Kraken, among others. On the other hand, we have decentralized exchanges. As the name suggests, these platforms operate without a central authority. Instead, they use blockchain technology to facilitate peer-to-peer trading. This means you're trading directly with another individual without the need for an intermediary. DEXs often provide more privacy as they typically don't require personal information for account creation. However, they can be a bit more complex to navigate for beginners. Some well-known DEXs are Uniswap, SushiSwap, and PancakeSwap. So you may ask, which one is better? Well, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. It largely depends on your personal preference, your experience level, and your security concerns. CX often provide a more user-friendly interface and customer support, while DEX offer more privacy and control over your assets. Choosing the right method to acquire Bitcoin is the first step, but how do we ensure its security? Let's find out. The journey of understanding Bitcoin continues, and with each step, we're moving closer to becoming adept navigators of this exciting digital universe. Acquiring Bitcoin is one thing, but how can we store it securely? Now that's a question worth pondering over, isn't it? After all, if your Bitcoin isn't safe, what's the point of having it in the first place? Let's dive into the world of Bitcoin storage and explore how we can keep our digital assets secure. The two primary ways to store Bitcoin are digital wallets and hardware wallets. Each comes with its strengths and potential weaknesses, and your choice between the two will depend on your individual needs and concerns. First, let's talk about digital wallets. These are software-based solutions that store your private keys, the unique codes that allow you to access and use your Bitcoin. Digital wallets are convenient and readily accessible, making them an attractive option for those who value ease and speed. However, their online nature makes them more susceptible to threats, such as hacking or malware. It's a bit like leaving your house key under the doormat. It's handy, but it might not be the most secure option. On the flip side, we have hardware wallets. These are physical devices that keep your private keys offline, providing an extra layer of security. Think of them as a high-tech safe for your Bitcoin. Hardware wallets are less vulnerable to online threats and provide robust protection for your digital assets. However, they can be more complex to use and may require a larger initial investment. It's a bit like investing in a top-notch security system for your home. So, digital wallets or hardware wallets? The choice ultimately depends on your needs and your comfort level with the associated risks. But remember, the most secure wallet is the one you understand and can use correctly. Understanding the intricacies of storing Bitcoin is crucial in this digital age. But the world of Bitcoin is also influenced by key figures. Let's discuss this next. It's this. Ever wondered how influential figures impact the dynamics of Bitcoin? As we delve deeper into the Bitcoin saga, it's impossible to overlook the role of key figures, particularly Elon Musk, in shaping this dynamic landscape. Their actions and utterances have often sparked significant ripples in the Bitcoin universe. Elon Musk, the maverick entrepreneur and CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, has been a pivotal figure in the Bitcoin narrative. Musk's relationship with Bitcoin has been a complex dance of endorsement and critique. His tweets have been known to induce seismic shifts in Bitcoin's value, demonstrating the power of social influence in the decentralized finance space. Let's journey back to February 2021, when Tesla announced a groundbreaking $1.5 billion investment in Bitcoin and started accepting it as a payment method. This significant capital inflow into the Bitcoin ecosystem triggered a surge in its value, cementing Bitcoin's place in mainstream finance. However, the honeymoon period was short-lived. Just 3 months later, Musk announced that Tesla would no longer accept Bitcoin due to environmental concerns about mining. This announcement sent shockwaves through the Bitcoin universe, causing a sharp drop in its value. Then, in a twist of events, Musk later signaled a potential reversal of Tesla's decision if Bitcoin mining became more sustainable. This oscillating narrative has kept Bitcoin enthusiasts on their toes and has been a testament to the influence of high-profile individuals on Bitcoin's trajectory. But it's not just about Musk. Other influential figures have also shaped Bitcoin's journey. MicroStrategy's CEO, Michael Saylor, for instance, has been a vocal advocate for Bitcoin, leading his company to hold a significant Bitcoin reserve. The influence of these key figures underscores that while Bitcoin is a technological marvel, it's also a social construct, shaped by human actions, decisions, and sentiments. Indeed, the journey of Bitcoin is not just a technological narrative, but also a human one. As we continue unraveling the complexities of Bitcoin, it's always fascinating to remember the human element intertwined with its technological roots. And now, as we've journeyed through the Bitcoin universe, understanding its evolution, halving, acquisition, storage, and the influence of key figures, let's gaze into the crystal ball. What does the future hold for Bitcoin? The future of Bitcoin is a topic that sparks heated debates among enthusiasts and skeptics alike. Some believe that Bitcoin is a bubble waiting to burst, while others see it as the future of finance. The truth probably lies somewhere in between. Predictions of Bitcoin's future value range from zero to millions of dollars, illustrating the polarizing views on its potential. On one hand, critics argue that Bitcoin's volatility, regulatory uncertainties, and environmental concerns pose significant risks. They contend that Bitcoin, despite its current popularity, could become obsolete if these issues are not addressed. On the other hand, proponents of Bitcoin believe that its decentralized nature, limited supply, and potential as a hedge against inflation position it well for future growth. They envision a future where Bitcoin is widely accepted for transactions, held by institutions as a reserve asset, and even used as a global reserve currency. While these contrasting views paint different pictures of Bitcoin's future, one thing is certain: Bitcoin's journey is far from over. Its evolution will continue to be shaped by technological advancements, regulatory developments, environmental considerations, and the actions of key figures. As we continue to navigate this digital landscape, remember that knowledge is your best tool. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring. Until next time, happy crypto journey! Remember, stay tuned, episode 3 is coming soon, and if you enjoyed it, don't forget to share, subscribe, and like. Also, we look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments section.